The FIFA World Cup 2026 is still on, and right here on Atlantic TV, we're giving all the updates. Welcome to the FIFA World Cup Roundup Show live here from Atlantic TV. My name is Richard Unwaje, and as usual, I bring all the biggest gist, all the biggest stories around the World Cup. And today, as usual, Pooja is live at Atlanta, where he's going to tell what's happening from his own side as we are covering what is happening around the World Cup. Welcome to the show. On the show today, we'll talk about the games yesterday. Very interesting games. Some pressure on a particular player. We'll talk about that player. Somebody is smiling from England. We'll talk about that particular player smiling from England. And we'll also talk about what would happen, the big man of the day, and we'll talk about what is trending. Welcome to the FIFA World Cup Roundup Show. All right, welcome to the show, and let's go straight into business, and let's talk about the games that happened yesterday night, stroke this morning. Now, several games happened, but all focus was on one particular man yesterday. Talk about the man, some call him his friend, scored a hat trick about 24 hours, or some would say less than 24 hours before he had to play his game. I'm talking about Ronaldo. And the Portugal team had this very, very interesting game against DR Congo yesterday. And for many people, that game was call it maybe a must win, or maybe a game that many expected would be a game Ronaldo would show himself, but it ended up 1-1 after Portugal had one goal, but DR Congo pushed another. We also saw another game from England where the English team showed themselves well. One particular man is on fire. Yes, for his club and country. They call him Harry Kane. He had 2 goals yesterday in that particular game against Croatia, and one man also doing well. This set him back to his club, but he is doing well for the Three Lions. Rashford from the bench, he scored his own goal yesterday, and we also had Jude Bellingham scoring, where the game ended 4-2 in favor of the Three Lions. England winning their first group match in the FIFA World Cup. Also, Ghana had this very, very interesting game. Let's move straight to Atlanta, where we have Pooja waiting for us. He's prepared for a very crucial game, and we'll have to hear him tell us what is happening around this very important game. Many Nigerians are interested about this game. Talk about South Africa, who are set to play, ready set to play in about 45 minutes. Now, Pooja, how are you doing this very, very interesting morning? Top of the morning to you. What is happening? You are at the stadium, and we could see fans coming in, getting ready for that very, very crucial match. Tell us, what's the feeling from there?
The atmosphere is good to be on the show, but the atmosphere is packed. You know, South Africans are hoping to win for the first time at this World Cup. See behind me, you know, the stadium, talking about the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. You can see the fans coming in, so it's a must-win for them if they want to qualify, even as a best loser. So the atmosphere is packed. It's like 2 hours to kick off time. You know, the team boss just passed me by now, going for the team warm-up. So it's actually going to be an interesting game. The public need to pick maximum points in this game. If they want to still be in USA, they need maximum points to even qualify as best loser. So it's a game of importance for both sides, talking about Czech Republic and South Africa.
Fans already before now, and something very interesting happened in their first game. They played against the host. What are the South African fans saying ahead of this game? Do they have that faith in their team, or maybe they just believe they could just try their best? And putting them side to side with the Czech Republic team, which team do you think, from your own perspective, is better off? So what are the fans saying? What are you saying based on this game?
You know, it's going to be remember, they got 2 red cards in their first game, so that we're meeting 2 key players from that game, you know, where they lost against Mexico. So it's a game of importance to them. You know, the guys that are coming on board, I don't know, good like the one that got a red card. So you can't talk about South Africa, not the 2 players that got the red card. So for Czech Republic, on paper, you know, Czech Republic are a better side to South Africa. But like I said, it's a game of guts. South Africa need Czech Republic as well. They need maximum points. So what I'm hoping to see is the guys that will, you know, come in, for the guys that, you know, got the red card in the first game against Mexico, will be on the same level as the kind of shit hole the guys that got the red card. So let's see what will happen. But on paper, it looks like Czech Republic more suited to win this game against South Africa.
Very, very busy, and I have to let you go anytime from now. But tell me, on the final note, what's your prediction? What's your own prediction? What's your own prediction? What are you expecting? South Africa to get their first goal or something. What are you expecting? Your prediction?
If I'm the coach of the South Africa, which of course, boss, I will not come out in this game because I need a point in this game to qualification for the round of 32. Remember, best losers that will qualify from the group. So it looks like what I would do as you go, boss, is to retain possession, be compact, not early enough against Czech Republic, because this is a very big game for them. So you don't have to go all out to fight against Czech Republic, knowing fully well that if you lose, you're as well out of the tournament. So I'll be more conservative. I'll play a compactive football and eat them on counter. You can see what keep doing, what the other guys that played, the Africans have been doing. They'll be absorbing the pressure, they'll be going on counter, and they'll be getting points. Look at what Ghana did against Panama. They absorbed the pressure. Panama all this, but they eat them on counter and they got 3 points. So I think that's what South Africa should do against Czech Republic. Don't get yourself open up, because this Czech Republic team, they are very dangerous. So hopefully they get a point or get 3 points and have a stay, to continue in South Africa, in US. Don't they fail to win this game to South Africa.
Final note. The goalkeeper of South Africa, Williams, asked for Africans to give South Africa that total support, and we should not do what happened, or let's let what happened in the first game not repeat itself. Let African come out and support South Africa. What's your thought around what the goalkeeper and the captain of the Bafana is saying about Africans supporting South Africa?
But it's just very clear. I don't think when it comes to tournament like this, goalkeepers or players or officials have to be political. He knows what is going down in South Africa. He knows what South Africans are doing to other Africans in their country, but you don't expect him to come out and say stuff like this in the press conference, at the World Cup. So he's just trying to be diplomatic, trying to be patriotic, and I think he's not telling all African supporters to come together to support South Africa or support Africans at this World Cup. Is not out of place. Hopefully, what is going down in South Africa against, in terms of Africans in South Africa, when it comes to politics. But of course, politics and football are separated. So hopefully, we will come out to support them. Africans will come out to support them, and hopefully, we have more Africans that will qualify for the round of 32. But all in all, the banter have to continue. So South Africa, Pooja is supporting now.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. And I know that you're very, very busy. You need to get the camera, you need to get behind the post and to get your pictures and, of course, make and get some interviews. Thank you very, very much for joining us this very, very interesting morning down there in Atlanta. That is our own correspondent, Pooja, who is covering the World Cup and giving us live updates from Atlanta, where the game between South Africa and Czech Republic will be starting in about 2 hours' time. And, of course, all eyes will be on that particular game. Don't forget, in the first game, we saw Mexico defeat South Africa. South Africa picked up 2 unnecessary, some will call it red card, and this got many people talking, and many spectators, and of course many football watchers had the view that should we still have hope in Africans representatives at the World Cup. But many would also agree that with what we have seen so far, African representatives have been to the party. They're already dancing well in the party, and we have seen African teams getting the result, just like how we saw DR Congo getting that important call it goal yesterday, an important point against Portugal. And this is the story of countries like Morocco. We also not forget the Cape Verde national team, which have so far have done well in this particular World Cup. All right, let's look at the fixtures we have today. We've spoken about the game which our own correspondent is covering, the game game between South Africa and Czech Republic. Later on today, we'll have the game between Switzerland and Bosnia, and we'll have the game between Switzerland and Bosnia later on today. Now, that's very, very interesting game. Will be one we'll love to see what will happen in that match. We'll have the game between Canada and Qatar. Very interesting match also. Canada, the hosting nation, they managed to pick up a point from the first game. We'll all wait to see what will happen. Now, Mexico will go against South Korea in Group A. Mexico had a great game defeating the Bafana in the first match of the FIFA World Cup. Call it the big game where we saw South Africa pick up those 2 red cards. We're going against the South Korea team. They have done well, proved themselves well, and so far in this tournament, and many will be expecting a very, very interesting clash. All right, that's what the World Cup will give us, interesting games. And don't forget, what's most important in all this is that we are moving to the second phase of matches in the group stage. Yeah, officially, we are done with all the matches that have to do with the first stage of matches. So we'll call it round 1 matches. But we are done with that, and we are moving straight up to the games that have to come, the second games in the group stage. Don't forget, we have the third games before we talk about round 32. Don't forget, in the World Cup, we're having a round 32, we have round 16, and the best losers will also have a chance to play in the round 32. And from there, we move to a round of 16. But for many of us, the big question will be, where is Nigeria? Where is Super Eagles of Nigeria? Someone say, Richard, let's get over that and let's move on with what is happening. But some will talk about the fact that beyond what is happening right now, we know the truth. How wish we had Nigeria in the World Cup. It would have been very, very interesting. But let's see what happens around that. All right, let's move from that. Something very interesting is already happening. Call it the top scorers. It's piling up. Harry Kane had 2 goals yesterday. We've had Mbappe score 2 goals. We've had another man called Messi with a hat-trick. And what we are seeing now is a galore of goals, and we're now looking at who's going to win the Golden Boots in this particular World Cup. Messi is topping the chart already, where Messi has 3 goals. Kylian Mbappe with 2 goals for France. The man from City and the goal mentioned himself, the Norway man, Erling Haaland has 2 goals. Harry Kane is on super form right now, and many call him the man who might just win the Ballon d'Or. He had 2 goals yesterday for his country. And we have Kai Havertz, the Arsenal and German international, who have scored 2 goals so far. Balogun of USA is doing well with 2 goals in this World Cup. The man has Nigerian blood flowing in his veins, and he's doing well, making sure his country, where he's related to USA, are doing well. So he's among the top scorers already. So the top scorers board is on, and for many of us, this would just be definitely interesting to see how it will play out. Some would say Messi having 3 goals already. Messi is in contention for the Golden Boot. Some will say, Richard, just calm down and let's wait and see what happened. All right, let's talk about the other man at the other end who is telling us it is not yet over. Who else? Ronaldo. For Ronaldo, it is not yet over. This is just the beginning. Now, Ronaldo has spoken, or he spoke after the game yesterday. Many will call that game that we did not expect that from Portugal. They were going against a DR Congo team. As I said yesterday, some felt that DR Congo team was meant to be Nigeria if we had qualified. DR Congo held the Portuguese national team to a 1-1 draw. And the main man, where we saw 5 defenders all around him, Ronaldo, is saying it is not yet over. It is just the beginning. After we have seen his counterparts like Harry Kane scored 2 goals, Mbappe 2 goals, Messi 3 goals. But he believes this is just the beginning. And we ask ourselves that deep question. 4 years ago, maybe not about 4 years ago, because the last World Cup happened around December, but during the last World Cup in Qatar, a particular country that won the World Cup, called Argentina, lost their opening game with what many call the big shocker in World Cup history after Saudi Arabia defeated them. They went all out to win the FIFA World Cup. So many would say, don't judge by the beginning. Don't judge with what you're seeing. And this is what Ronaldo is telling us right now. Let us not judge with this. This is just the beginning, and we can see something at the end. The question will be, how far can the Portuguese national team pull this particular one in this World Cup? For many of us, it will be a very, very tough game. But we will still believe that, we hope that the Portuguese team can also get to at least the semi-finals, because beyond the whole Messi and Ronaldo drama, we love the banter. We want to have interesting football where the big boys remain to the last part of the tournament, so we could enjoy what the great game would give us. So hopefully we pray Portugal could get to the semi-finals, and let's have Portugal, maybe Argentina playing semi-finals, they have interesting finals. That's what we're hoping to see around the World Cup. And let's move from the World Cup, what's happening around the World Cup and Ronaldo, and talk about something I mentioned when we were talking with our correspondent in the US. Williams, the captain, the goalkeeper of the Bafana, South Africa, is asking the whole of Africa to support them. He has criticized Africans for what he called bad attitude from not supporting African team like South Africa. If you could recall, in South Africa's first game against Mexico, when South Africa played that opening match, many Africans or many football supporters around Africa did not really give the support to South Africa. Many calling it a bit of political issues that are happening in South Africa, which definitely we saw how it had to metamorphose into football. And for the goalkeeper, he believes this should not happen. Now let's hear from the South African goalkeeper. Let's hear what he's saying around that.
Africa and people supporting Mexico. I can remember I've always said that, as Africa, we are one. We support each other. In good and bad moments, we've all got our own politics, we've got our own problems, our own fights that we deal with, back home. Every country does, so, I don't know where it stemmed from. And it does hurt, because like I've mentioned, I've been attacked, obviously my country as well, for things that are going on back home. And, I've always said, players are human beings as well. We go through it, and for us, sometimes it gets a lot. You want to focus on doing your job, which is being a footballer, but then you get involved in politics, and you don't want to be get into that space. But that's the wonderful thing about sports. It can unite, it can make or break you, and it can bring people together. We are in Atlanta now, and I see so many Africans, South Africans, people from Mexico in one room. That's the beauty of sport. That's the beauty of football. So let's just enjoy. Let's have a wonderful time. And we leave politics to the politicians. Let us just play football, enjoy ourselves, and criticize for what happens on the field. Off the field things, we can't deal with that, and it's got, nothing to do with us. So yeah, as Africa, let's unite and let's keep going, because we are all in this together.
And so the next big story, one man captivated or caught the eyes of many football lovers. His story is very motivational, and the story has kept many people believing that never give up. Your story can still change. Talking about the Cape Verde goalkeeper, where the great news is coming in that Vozinha's mom will join him in US for the World Cup. Now, why it's so interesting is that this particular goalkeeper, who is 40 years, keeps for Cape Verde, could not have the chance. Mom could not have the chance, or did not have the chance to watch him play his first game. Not because she didn't want to watch him, but due to the fact that there was no money. Now, we're hearing that the US government well-wishers are ready to bring this 40-year-old man's mom down to the US so she could watch her son play the next game. Now, for those who haven't been following the story, the man you could see on your screen did something what many call the extraordinary, part of the World Cup so far, where we saw him keep and make a lot of saves against the Spanish national team, and he won the man of the match. His social media account moved from 50,000 as at this afternoon to 9.5 million followers on Instagram. That's how well this particular Cape Verde goalkeeper has now become the talk of town, and now his mom will join him in the World Cup. So, of course, congratulations to him, and big up to the Cape Verde team. Many of us will be expecting the Cape Verde team to come in the next game, give us another great football. Don't stop with what you're doing. We are supporting you. We love what you're doing. Let's see you in the next game doing something, wonderful. All right, let's move from there very, very fast, and let's drop it on something very interesting. And let's move to the man of the day. Now, don't forget, I told you at the beginning of this World Cup roundup show that we always have that man of the day, that particular man that will talk about how good the man is, the man who made everybody or got the whole world talking. Now, in the last 24 hours, one man has gotten everybody talking. And he's a 20 years old Caleb Yirenkyi, all from Ghana. The man who scored, or some will call him boy, he's 20 years, he's not a boy. He scored that important goal in the 95th minute for Ghana to pick up that 1 point, or pick up that win rather, against Panama, where he scored that only goal in that game. Beautiful goal, the 20 years old superstar. Nobody knew about him before the World Cup. In fact, his father is a carpenter. Yes, in Ghana. And his father had his poster, what I call it, a banner, hung in front of his shop before this particular game yesterday. And the whole world is talking about this 20 years old boy or 20 years old man who have gotten everybody smiling, gotten Ghanaians happy. The Black Stars of Ghana are happy. They've picked up their first 3 points. And today, we honor him on the World Cup Roundup show on Atlantic TV. And he's our man of the day, the FIFA World Cup man of the day, for a brilliant performance for scoring that important goal that made sure or gave the chance for Ghana to win that game yesterday, or some will call it this morning. So very, very interesting football coming out from Ghana, and the man Caleb is our man of the day. All right, from talking about Caleb, let's move to what we always love to do every now and then when we talk about what is trending. Now, the World Cup has a lot of trending stuff. You must believe me that a lot of things happen around the World Cup beyond the football on the field. We have things happening outside the field that gets many people talking, that gets social media busy with a lot of debate. And today we have one of those, or two or three of those videos that we'll talk about, which of course have been trending in the last 12 to 18 hours. Now we'll start up with the video of one man they call Ronaldo. Now Ronaldo yesterday had that game against the country they call DR Congo. It was a 1-1 draw. But something happened after the game. To many people or many football watchers, some believe it was really unfair. For some, it's part of the banter. For some, it's just football. Let's enjoy it. While some are really criticizing the acts. After the game yesterday, Ronaldo, as usual, trying to get cheers from fans, but instead, these fans kept calling one name. Not Ronaldo. Messi, Messi, Messi. And to many people, or many football fans, or Ronaldo fans, that was disrespectful to the former Manchester United, Juventus, Real Madrid star, the man who has scored several goals, the man who has still playing the World Cup since 2006. But we'll not forget the biggest debate ever in football history between Ronaldo and Messi. But the question will be, why did DR Congo fans decide to call Messi, Messi when they saw Ronaldo? Instead of Ronaldo, Ronaldo, they called Messi, Messi. Let's watch that video. And that's the video of this particular man, Ronaldo, where we're screaming Messi, Messi. And for many, this is not just nice. And let's take some tweets around this particular video. Let's hear what people are saying around this one. Now, DR Congo fans pulling the ultimate troll, holding Portugal to a draw, then chanting Messi, Messi right in CR7's face. Ronaldo still took the flag like a champion. Pick of football and chaos. This is from Ola. Let's take another one. This is from Prosper. Poor Cristiano doesn't deserve this. So sad, I now feel a pity for him. Come on, he's only human. Not be my goat, but I don't like this humiliation. This is from Football Vibes with Benny. Of course, everybody is saying something around Ronaldo and what happened yesterday. Yeah, it's part of the game. Sometimes we don't like the banter. Sometimes we have to see the banter. Sometimes the banter makes the game very, very interesting. And I'm sure by now Ronaldo should be used to such, some will call it actions. It happens in Al Nassr where we see fans calling Messi as a way to demoralize the man who have written his name on gold when it comes to football. Still on what's trending around the FIFA World Cup, and let's look at something very interesting that happened around the Ghana national team. We call them the Black Stars of Ghana. They are our neighbors here in Nigeria, and they had this powerful praying section after the game. And to the religious folks, they love this. And you can see on your screen, that was the goalkeeper of the Black Stars of Ghana having that very, very important, you could see it, important prayer. And after that game, and so many people, oh, this was really, really, really interesting. And to some, how well does prayer really work in football? Does prayer really make a difference? But we all say we need God in everything that we do. But that was Ghana after they picked up that 3 points, won with a late goal from the man they call Caleb in that particular match. Let's switch the gear, still on what's trending around the World Cup. And this time around, let's blow it in on something very nice and something that can relax the nerves. They say the Ghanaians love to dance. The question is, between Nigerians and Ghanaians, who love to dance? Who love to really catch the phone? Oh, just imagine we have Nigeria in this particular World Cup. But this was in the dressing room yesterday. To mention that Caleb, who scored that winning goal, wears number 3 jersey, and the Black Stars of Ghana's legend, Asamoah Gyan, wears number 3 jersey, and this particular video had Asamoah Gyan dancing in the dressing room of the Black Stars of Ghana, celebrating that important victory. Let's watch And that's the video. Very, very funny, very, very interesting. When you win, you'll be happy. Enjoy the moments. That's what football gives you. Football gives you the two parts of the coin. Sometimes you celebrate. Sometimes you have all the joy. You have all the big smiles on your face. And sometimes you have to wear that sad face. And sometimes the players become very emotional and they have to cry. But the truth will remain that in the FIFA World Cup, some will smile today, some would cry tomorrow. But at the last day on the 19th of July, only one team, only one country will have the final smile, would have the final dance. And the question would be, which country would have that final dance? Which country would have that final smile? And which country would cry on the 19th of July? Which country would start crying maybe from today, maybe from next week, but would have two feelings: those who will be happy and those who will be crying. And this is what football gives us every now and then. And this is what we are covering for you on the FIFA World Cup Roundup show right here on Atlantic TV. For me, I will always make sure I keep in touch with all the biggest story around the World Cup until the last moment of the FIFA World Cup. Me and my team, and with the team in the US, Atlanta in the US, Pooja giving us that coverage from there. We'll make sure here on Atlantic TV, we'll give you the full and complete updates. My name is Richard Unwaje. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.